I'm coming on a little early today because I realized that we did not put the post up on YouTube in advance of where the live stream will be. So we wanted to make sure. So I'm coming on early to give all of our love tubers the opportunity to hop on for today's ACIM. I'm coming to you from Paris, Greece. Oh my God, it is so incredible here. It is so super fantastic here. Super fantastic. Okay, we're going to call up our Clubhouse family. We're on every single day live for 365 days straight with A Course of Miracles. Today is lesson 256, and that means we only have about 109, 100 and something days to get right, make set your intention, get yourself in alignment. I don't want to yell because I'm in a place where here in Paris, Greece, I'm in a place where other people are also working. So we're going to dive into our course lesson in just a moment. And first, I'm going to pull up the Clubhouse conversation tool because we're live on 4 platforms every morning. Reverend Valerie Love YouTube channel, the Christian Witches YouTube channel, the Valerie Love Facebook fan page, and the Christian Witches Club on Clubhouse. So let's pull up the Christian Witches Club on Clubhouse. What is today? Today is Tuesday. It is a beautiful day. Welcome. You are loved. You are so appreciated. I'm coming to you from Paris, Greece. It is amazing. And so we're going to start the Clubhouse room right now, and we'll be live in just a couple of seconds. Now, before we go live, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is day 256. So we have 111. I didn't do my math properly earlier. It's not 109. We have 111 days to commit to make something fabulous happen for your life in 2022. Come on, family. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We want to make something amazing, fabulous, and incredible happen in your life in these 111 days. Yes, so let's do it. Let's do it. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much to our incredible YouTube family, especially our members. The members on the YouTube channel are so incredible because they support the channel with $4.99 every single month. It is freaking fantastic. And big shout out of love to all of our members on the YouTube channel. You're freaking fantastic. We love you. And of course, you receive the books, every single book that I create. You receive the ebook version of it. So you have books available to you right now. You have the library, you have the vault available to you right now. If you are a member of the channel, just go to YouTube at valerielovetv.com, valerielovetv.com. And if you go there, you'll see a join button. And you can join the channel. Or it's probably under the video too to join the channel. Hey family. Hey family. I came on early this morning so that all of our love tubers could find the broadcast because the broadcast was not publicized in advance in its exact location. So I came on early this morning, a couple of minutes early, so that our love tubers could find the broadcast so that we'll all be together starting. You are so loved. Can you imagine? We have been together for 256 days. Family, 256 days we have been together in A Course in Miracles. This is freaking amazing. It's amazing. All right, let's begin. It is right at the top of the hour, and let's have a deep meditative moment first, as we always like to do before we begin. We want a quiet moment, just a quiet moment, and a deep breath. Quiet moment and a deep breath. We understand the value of waking up in the morning and beginning our day on a very high vibration. When we wake up in the morning, we do not roll over and grab the phone first. We do not roll over and check email first. We simply are still. The second we begin to awaken, we are still. And we remind ourselves that we are in the love of God. We are from the love of God. We are surrounded by the love of God, Goddess, and that we have nothing to worry about, nothing to concern ourselves with. Everything is always working out perfectly, and our life is unfolding according to a perfect divine pattern that can never be disturbed. That's what we awaken in the morning. We do not awaken in the morning to having issues with rushing. We do not awaken in the morning to a lot. If you're a spiritual badass, yes, spiritual gangster, we do not awaken in the morning to blaring alarms, right? We do not awaken in the morning to running to see what's on Facebook. That's not how we roll. That's not what we do in the mornings. In the mornings, we awaken consciously. We awaken and we immediately place our consciousness in love, in power, in wisdom. We immediately remember who we are. Start your day right. That's why we're here every morning at 7 a.m. to remind ourselves of who we truly are. We do this together in community. Here we are, lesson 256. It's one of my favorites. God is the only goal I have today. Tell yourself, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going, no matter who you're hanging out with, tell yourself, God is the only goal I have today. Say it to yourself again. God is the only goal I have today. Oh, that's delicious. Just pause and let it sink in. Pause and breathe it in. And align the mind. Align yourself with what's truly important. What is the biggest, most important, most uh, meaningful thing you could do today with your consciousness is to remember the only goal. The only goal is God. The way to God is through forgiveness here. Here, remember, we have said it many, many, many times in the course. We cannot get to God if we still got problems with this person, that person, the other person. We don't like this one, we don't like that one. That one gets on my nerves, that one, I don't like them. That's not how we get to God. It says the way to God is through forgiveness here. There is no other way. So if God is my only goal, that would mean that I would have to forgive. If sin had not been cherished by the mind, because we have learned that the lower egoic mind loves to come up with sin. It loves to cast people in sin. It loves to think about what you did wrong and try to make you feel guilty for it. It loves to be ashamed of things. You should be ashamed of yourself. Our parents used to tell us that. And then we got to a certain age, we took over that job on our own, telling ourselves that. The mind loves to look for sin, especially the Christian conditioned mind. If sin had not been cherished by the mind, what need would there have been to find the way to where you are? Who would still be uncertain? We would not be uncertain of who we are if we were not cherishing sin. We think we're some lowly people or lowly beings. This is where insecurities come from, deep within. Because secretly we harbor thoughts that maybe we're less than who we are. Maybe we're less than. Maybe we're less than other people. Who could be unsure of who he is? If we did not cherish sin, we wouldn't be unsure of who we are. And who would yet remain asleep in heavy clouds of doubt about the holiness of him whom God created sinless? You're created sinless. You're created holy. We hear it every day, yet some part of us still doesn't believe it. Some part of us still thinks that we're, I don't know, a fuck up. But could you really remain asleep in the heavy clouds of doubt about our holiness, about our greatness, about our magnificence, about our spectacularness? If we remembered our sinlessness, it would not be possible. Here we can but dream. That means in the matrix, we're not really seeing things as they truly are in the third dimension. But we can dream we have forgiven him in whom all sin remains impossible. And it is this we choose to dream today. Today, remember that exercise we did many months ago, many moons ago. We did an exercise where you bring up the one person, you know, that one that is like, ooh, hoo, hoo. Maybe it's mama drama, maybe it's papa drama, maybe it's an old lover, maybe it's one of your kids. You know that one. We brought that one up and we practiced going past the clouds of unforgiveness, perceptions, how we see them, what we think of them. We practice going past the clouds and to seeing this person as the holy light of God, wearing all white, shining in the resplendent glory of love, with their hand held out to you, because this is your Savior. This is the one that will show you the way to God. And remember, God is my only goal. So if my God is my only goal, and I cannot show up to heaven alone without my brothers and sisters, then I must take the hand of the one who is that one and forgive. But we can dream we have forgiven him in whom all sin remains impossible. And it is this we choose to dream today. Since we're dreaming anyway, and we're in this third dimension, we might as well use our dreams to do something productive and helpful, something that will help us go up and ascend. Then today we're going to dream that they had a sin and we forgave them. How about that? God is our goal. God is our goal. Tell yourself today, my only goal is God. God is my only goal today. God is my only goal today. God is my only goal. Forgiveness is the means by which our minds return to Him at last. Our mind is returned to God by scrubbing it up, cleaning, and letting go of, getting rid of all the things we think are wrong. Think something's wrong with that person. Think something's wrong with that person. These people shouldn't be doing that. Those people shouldn't be doing that. We got tons of critics going on in our own mind. Critics who think they know better. If I look at my mind has a problem with everybody. I was talking to my beautiful daughter last night, and it was so amazing. Well, it was last night for her. It was this morning for me. And we were having this deep conversation. My beautiful younger baby who's in college, it's her senior year. We're having this deep conversation about why does our mind see flaws in people? You know, she's looking at her friends and she's experiencing things in her growth into being an adult. And it was a powerful conversation because we came to the understanding that our minds are always looking for flaws. Are you going to agree with those flaws? I bet you could come up with 10 things that's wrong with everybody that you know right now. It's easy. It's easy to see their flaws. It's easy to see what's wrong with people. It's easy to see personality disorders, quirks, things you don't like, things that get on your nerve. That requires no work whatsoever. And you are not special if you come up with that list. You're not special. I'm just like everybody else when I'm coming up with that list of what I think is wrong with this one or that one and the other. And then the mind likes to have its favorites. It likes to have its favorites that are just, they're so wonderful. And then we can't see nothing that's wrong with them at all. So either we're in total blindness and we shouldn't see anything that's wrong with them. And it's not that we're not seeing what's wrong with them, it's that we're in delusion and we think that they can do no wrong because we're in delusion. And what Source is saying is come home to the truth and be in neither polarity. Don't be in a polarity where we're delusional and this person is cheating on us and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And we just don't know that we're being jerked around. We're being delusional because we don't see what's really going on. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, the other polarity where you see everything that's going on with somebody and this is wrong, that's wrong, that they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't do that. If they would just change, this would all go away. All their problems would just be solved. Well, why are we in their lane? Let's drop all that. It's too much work. It's too much freaking work. Let's just drop all that and say, okay, God is my only goal. Make it real simple for ourselves. I got one goal today, God. One goal. Here's our prayer. And so, our Father, and so our Mother, and so Spirit, and so Source, what we come to you in your appointed way. We're coming to Source in Source's appointed way. We're not going to dictate to God how we're supposed to come to God. We're not going to say, God, yeah, but I know you told me forgiveness, but this person's getting on my nerves. And you were praying to God, asking God to change the other person. God, can you just change them? God, can you make it so that they're fill in the blank? That's not a prayer. That's us praying amiss. because that's praying from our perceptions. Our perceptions are faulty, our perceptions are the problem. So we can pray and say, Source, please clear my mind of these perceptions because I do know, I recognize my the faultiness of my perceptions. We have no goal except to hear your voice. We want to hear one voice. And we have said this over the past few lessons that I'm going to be still in my mind and I'm only going to listen to one voice. We have no goal except to hear your voice and find the way your sacred word has pointed out to us. See, there is a way for you. There's a way for you. There's a way for you for your perfect abundance, your perfect happiness, your perfect friends, your perfect family, your perfect everything, your perfect fulfillment on the planet, your perfect places. You're going to see, you're going to look up and you're going to see that you're just in a wonderful place. You're with wonderful people, eating wonderful food, doing wonderful things, having wonderful experiences, feeling this profound fulfillment, experience a big yes. How are you going to be in that? Because we're hearing the voice. We hear the voice. And we find the way your sacred word has pointed out to us. There is a way that is perfect for you. And the voice is pointing it out to us. And if we are still and we listen to the voice that is inside, this is not the outside voices of people, society, pastors, teachers, preachers, mama, daddy, family, society, what's right, the job, the boss, the blah, blah, blah. Pressing us. They're always trying to press us to do things. Your outer world will keep pressing in on you to do certain things until you rip off your clothes, Superman, and put on and step into the phone booth and let your cape come on. And then you emerge, and then you find that you are the one powerfully impressing the world around you, which was the truth all along, yet it was concealed. Your outer world is going to keep pressing on you until you become Superman. That's what my outer world was doing. It was pressuring me. I feel zero pressure now. None. Why? Because I realize that I'm the one exerting pressure on the whole universe to do this, that, or the other according to consciousness. I no longer feel any pressure from anywhere, anyone, or anything to do anything in any way other than the God way. Why? Because I said, God, not because I'm special, I'm certainly not. Because I said, God, can you take over my crazy mind and show me the way? And so, our Father, that's our prayer for today. And so, our Father, Mother God, will we come to you in your appointed way. We have no goal except to hear your voice and find the way your sacred word has pointed out to us. That's our only goal. That's the only thing I want. I don't want to go my own way. I don't want to go what I think is right. My mind flip flops 29,000 times in one day. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should go that way. Maybe I should go that way until I be still. Breathe and come home to the truth. Come home to the sacred knowing. This is the way. This is the way. And I will walk it. And not only will you know that this is the way, and not only will you have the courage to walk the way, you will walk it with all joy, abundance, love, peace, and bliss. I promise you, the way is bliss. And anytime we're not experiencing bliss, we have one place and one place only to look, to the mind. That's it. That's all. That's all. That's all. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I can't yell at you like I normally would because I'm in a space and I want to be mindful of other people who are working. So I can't be yelling like I normally would be. If you are not in bliss, you have one place to look, and that is in your mind. Not other people, not your money, not your house, not your situation. Not, I would just wish they would do this. I just wish they would do that. If my kids don't stop doing that, if my boo, oh Lord, please, will you stop it? We'll stop doing all of that. We will stop. Right, Soul Whisperer? Yes, indeedy, Soul Whisperer. You know what I'm talking about. And I wonder if part of it is, I'm sure that there's an aspect of this that is maturity. Because if you look at really old people like in their 90s, I don't want to say really old because we can live to like 100, 110, 120. If you look at people who are very mature, they don't get mad at everybody. My grandparents and grandmothers and grandfathers, they do not get mad at everybody. They would be like, whatever. They was be sitting there. It takes a lot to move a really mature person into anger. I think it's just part of it is maturity. Like, okay, this too will pass. Life experience helps us to understand. Don't let yourself be blown about by the 8 wins. There are 8 wins. Let me pull up the 8 wins, and I'll tell you the 8 wins before we leave, and I'll tell you a quick story about the 8 wins. Let me find the 8 wins. Um, Here it is. Here are the 8 wins. Let me go to it and pull it up on screen share, and I'm going to tell you a quick story about the 8 wins. Wins, like wind. The 8 wins consist of 4 favorable wins and 4 unfavorable wins. The first four, which people generally favor, tend to seek are prosperity, which is profit. Number two, honor, which are the accolades from society. Number three is praise, which is admiration from people. Number four is pleasure, which is physical and spiritual gratification. The next 4 wins are literally things that we don't like. Those 4 wins are these are disagreeable wins, the wins of life, right? 8 wins. The fifth wind is decline or some kind of loss of prosperity, loss of a home, loss of possessions, loss of relationships. Number six is disgrace, being dishonored and humiliated, like publicly, or, just humiliation, public humiliation. We've experienced that. Seven is censure or being criticized or disparaged. Your boo is yelling at you. You're being criticized or you're yelling at you. Or a teacher is, no, 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 you did that wrong. And number eight is suffering. So if you look at them from a polarity framework, one is prosperity, and we could say two is loss. Okay. Three is, and this is a different order than what I just gave them to you because first I gave you the first 4 favorable ones and then I gave you the 4 unfavorable ones. Now we're going to mix up the order a little bit and I'm going to give them to you as favorable, unfavorable pairs. Okay, so one and two, the pair would be prosperity, abundance, wealth, you're thriving, your money's good, you have investments and all that, and you're thriving. And the pair to that, or the polarity to that, would be loss. That you're not winning, you're financially struggling, you're empty, you're bereft, we know maybe both of those. Okay, that's the first pair. The second pair would be accolades. This is some kind of praise from society, honor, awards. You're on a pedestal, you're flying high, you're looking amazing to other people. And what would the pair to that be? The pair to that would be disgrace, being dishonored, some kind of public humiliation. Okay, let's look at number three. Number three is praise, which is admiration. People are looking up to you. And this is different from honor. Honor and praise are two different things. So, praise is people, maybe your friend told you, oh, you just do that so well. I just love that. And what's the polarity to praise? Criticism. You did not do that right. Number four, in these pairs of the 8 wins. Number four would be pleasure. This I'm a big foodie. I just love sensual pleasures. Maybe that's in the Libra protocol somewhat. And so you have these pleasures of delicious food and sexual pleasures and massages and having all these wonderful, wonderful experiences, pleasure, spiritual gratification, even bliss. And what's the polarity to that? Suffering. You feel bad. You're in depression. You're in shame. You're in anger. You're in resentment. You don't have sex, or you got bad sex, or the food is nasty, or whatever. These four. Okay, so now that we know what the 8 winds are, here's a story about the 8 winds. There was this Buddhist monk, and he had an acolyte, a protege. And this protege was studying with this Buddhist monk for a very long time because he wanted to overcome the 8 winds. And basically, in Buddhism, the whole point of us knowing about the 8 winds is so that you are never blown by any of the 8 winds. You're not blown by pleasure, and you're not blown by suffering. You're not blown by being wealthy, and you're not blown by being poor. You're not blown when society is throwing you accolades and throwing garlands at your feet, and you're not blown when you have public humiliation. You're not blown when people are praising you and you're being thanked and you're being celebrated. And you're not blown when people are criticizing you and saying, you did that wrong. Okay? That's the goal. So now that we are very clear on what the 8 winds are, we are very clear on how our relationship to the 8 winds is to be. Here is what happened with the master and the teacher, the master and the student. So the student lived a very, 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 very far away from his teacher. Long, 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 long way. And it's so far that you had to travel by horse for 3 days to get to the teacher. And this student was studying with this master teacher for just a long time, like decades. Finally, the student felt like he was feeling so peaceful, and he was noticing that no matter what was happening in his life, he was still able to maintain his peace. And he said, wow, I must have overcome the 8 winds. I'm no longer blown by the 8 winds. I'm this rock. I stay centered. I stay in the peace, and I'm no longer blown by the 8 winds. I'm not just blown every which way. So he was very happy, and he wanted to give thanks and also send this information, make his master teacher aware of his progress. So he wrote a letter. And he wrote this long letter to his master teacher. Oh my goodness, you have helped me so much, because after all these years, I'm finally no longer blown by the 8 winds. I feel so free. I feel so liberated. I feel so good and peaceful. I feel like a rock. I'm just never blown. I see the people around me being blown, but I'm never blown. And he wrote this long, heartfelt letter, and he sent it to his teacher. And so, of course, he had to send it by horse. It was very far distance. And so finally it got there, and then long time later he got a letter back. His master teacher got the letter, and he looked at the letter and he wrote on the letter, and then he put the letter back wrapped it up and gave it to the messenger and said, here, take this back. The student got the letter back, and he opened the letter. He was like, what? Did my master read the letter? And he opened the letter, and on the letter, his heartfelt letter that he was so, just so in gratitude, and this deep heartfelt letter, the master had written 2 big words across the letter: fart, fart, in big letters, fart, fart. And he looks at these 2 words, fart, fart. What is happening? The master doesn't understand how liberated I am. What is this? I'm going to have to go to talk to my master teacher. I'm going to have to go talk to the master. So he gets his horse ready, and he gets, the offerings and the gifts he's going to bring to his master's teacher and all that. And he takes these days journey, and he gets all the way to the master, and he gains entry to the master. Here it is, master, I just have a question. The master is looking at him and he said, I told you I poured out my heart to you, and I told you about the 8 winds, and that I'm no longer blown by the 8 winds. And I thought you would be so happy to hear it. And then here I get this letter back, fart, fart. I don't understand what's happening. I just want to share with you my, you know, my wins, my great progress. And the master teacher sat there listening to him, and then looked at him and said, you're no longer blown by the 8 winds? He said, no, I'm no longer blown by the 8 winds. He says, you're no longer blown by the 8 winds, but 2 farts blew you all the way over here. Think about it. You're no longer blown by the 8 winds, but you got blown all the way over here by 2 farts. Our work is not done. And maybe just when you think you got all of this mastered, maybe you do like I do and just get up the next day and come on A Course in Miracles anyway. Maybe you just get that fart fart. I love you. That's A Course in Miracles for today. Reverend Valerie Love signing off. ValerieLove.com. I freaking love you. Mwah. Peace. Casey out. Fart fart.